Good morning. Hi, my name is Gina Weaver. My pronouns are they, them, and I am a white teenager with curly brownish hair and wearing a red Henley. Welcome to First Unitarian Church, where our mission is to explore the eternal, nurture community, and pursue the common good. We welcome you in your brokenness and in your wholeness. No matter who you have been, who you are, or who you are becoming, we greet you today with love. A special welcome if you are new to the church. If you're here in person, you can find a card at the back of the sanctuary where you can share contact information so you can receive our email newsletter. And if you're online, you can find a similar form under newcomers on the website. We're happy to have all our friends, new and old, who are watching us on YouTube this morning. Please introduce yourselves in the comments and tell us where you're joining us from. In case you couldn't tell already, today is our annual Youth Sunday, where the high school youth group takes over the Sunday morning service. We welcome you to our service, which today is for all ages. Welcome to First Unitarian OKC. And now, the prelude prepares us for worship. In lighting our chalice, we connect ourselves with many different people, the many Unitarian Universalists across space and time who also light or have lit the chalice, our spiritual ancestors with their dreams, good deeds, and even their failings. We light our chalice in Midwest Oklahoma City. Midtown, on land that was home to the first Americans, including the Apache, Caddo, and Wichita, on land that was taken from the Muskogee and Seminole and other removed and relocated peoples. Today, our chalice is lit by Sam and her family. We light this chalice as a symbol of our sacred time together. The burning chalice represents the light of reason and science, the warmth of loving community, the cleansing heat of justice, and the flame of hope.
My name is Charlie. My pronouns are he, him, and I'm a pretty tall white teenager. So our call to worship this morning is forged in the fire of our coming together by Reverend Gretchen Haley. What's going to happen? Will everything be okay? What can I do? In these days, we find ourselves so often stuck with these questions on repeat. What's going to happen? Will everything be okay? What can I do? We grasped at signs and markers, articles of news and analysis, Facebook memes, and forwarded emails, as if the new zodiac, capable of forecasting all that life may yet bring our way, as if we could prepare, as if life had ever made any promises of making sense or turning out the way we thought, as if we're not also actors in this still unfolding story. For this hour we gather, to surrender to the mystery, to release ourselves from the needing to know, the yearning to have it all already figured out, and also the burden of believing we either have all control or none. Here in our song and our silence, our stories and our sharing, we make space for a new breath, a new healing, a new possibility. to take root. That is courage. Forged in the fire of our coming together, and felt in the spirit that comes alive in this act of faith. That we believe still a new world is possible, that we are creating it here, already, and now. Come, let us worship together. And now, in the spirit of hospitality and building community, please take the next few minutes to greet your neighbors here in the sanctuary. Please come back to your seats when you hear the opening hymn being played. Come sing a song with me.
Please join us in song number 346, Come Sing a Song with Me. 346 in the gray one. Come sing a song. Come sing a song. Come sing a song with me. Come sing a song with me. That I might know your mind. And I'll bring you home when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love that arose in the winter time. Come dream a dream with me. Come dream a dream with me. Come dream a dream with me, that I might know your mind. And I'll bring you hope when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love that arose in the winter time. Come walk in rain with me. Come walk in rain with me. Come walk in rain with me, that I might know your mind. And I'll bring you hope when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love that arose in the winter time. Come share a rose with me. Come share a rose with me. Come share a rose with me, that I might know your mind. And I'll bring you hope when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love that arose in the winter. You may be seated.
We now invite the children in the sanctuary and those who are childlike at heart to join us in the front for our times for all ages. Is this one working? Okay. We now invite all children in the sanctuary and those adults who are childlike at heart to join us for our time for all ages. Today's story is Stone Soup, retold by John Muth.
Three monks, Hawk, Lock, and Sue, traveled along a mountain. They talked about cat whiskers and the color of the sun and giving. "What makes one happy, Sue?" asked Hawk, the youngest monk. Old Sue, who was the wisest, said, "Let's find out." The sound of a bell brought their gaze to the rooftops of a village below. They could not see from so high above that the village had been through so many hard times. Famine, flood, and war had made the villagers weary and untrusting of strangers. They had become more suspicious of their neighbors. The village worked hard, but only for themselves. There was a farmer, a tea merchant, a scholar, a seamstress, a doctor, a carpenter, and many others, but they had little to do with one another. When the monks reached the foot of the mountain, the villagers disappeared into their houses. No one came to the gates to greet them, and when the people came to see them enter the village, they closed their windows tight. The monks knocked on the door of the first house. There was no answer, and the house went dark. They knocked on a second door, and the same thing happened. It happened again and again, from one house to the next. "These people do not know happiness," they agreed. "But today," said Sue, his face bright as the moon, "we will show them what to make stone soup." They gathered twigs and branches and made a fire. They placed a small tin pot on top and filled it with water from the village well. A brave little girl who had been watching came to them. "What are you doing?" she asked. "We're gathering twigs," said Lock. "And we're making a fire," said Hawk. "We're making a stone soup, and we need 3 round, smooth stones," said Sue. The little girl helped the monks look around the courtyard, and when they found just the right ones, they put them in the water to cook. "These stones will make an excellent soup," said Sue, "but this very small pot won't make much, I'm afraid." "My mother has a bigger pot," said the girl. The little girl ran home, and as she started to take the pot, her mother asked what she was doing. "3 strangers are making stone soup from stones," she said. "They need our biggest pot." Said the little girl's mother. "Stones are easy to come by. I'd like to learn how to do that." The monks poked at the coals and smoke drifted up as the neighbors peered out from their windows. The fire and the large pot in the middle of the village was a true curiosity. One by one, the people of the village came out to see just what stone soup was. "Of course, old-style stone soup should be well seasoned with salt and pepper," said Hawk. "This is true," said Lock, as he stirred the giant pot filled with water and stones. "But we have none." "I have some salt and pepper," said the scholar, his eyes big with curiosity. He disappeared and came back with salt and pepper and even a few other spices. Sue took a taste. "Last time we had stone soup of this size and color, carrots made the broth very sweet." "Carrots?" said a woman from the back. "I may have a few carrots, but just a few." She ran off, and she returned with many carrots she would carry on top and drop them into the bowl. "Do you think it would be better with onions?" asked Hawk. "Oh, yes, maybe an onion would taste good," said the farmer, and he hurried off. He returned in a moment with 5 big onions, and he dropped them into the bubbling soup. "Now that's a fine soup," he said. The villagers all nodded their heads. The smell was very agreeable. But if only we had some mushrooms, said Sue, rubbing his chin. Several villagers licked their lips. A few dashed away and returned with fresh mushrooms, noodles, pea pods, and cabbages. Something magical began happening among the villagers. As each person opened their heart to give, the next person gave even more. And as this happened, the soup grew richer and smelled even more delicious. I imagine the emperor would suggest we add dumplings, said one villager. And bean curd, said another. What about cloud ear and mung beans and yams, cried some others. And taro root and wintermelon and baby corn, cried the other villagers. Garlic, ginger root, soy sauce, lily buds. I have some, the people cried out as they ran off, returning with all that they could carry. The monks stirred and the pot bubbled. How good it smelled. How good would it taste? And how giving the villagers had become. At last, the soup was ready. The villagers gathered together. They brought rice and steamed buns. They brought lychee nuts and sweet cakes. They brought tea to drink, and they lit lanterns. Everyone sat down to eat, but they had not been together for a feast like this in a very long time, longer than anyone could remember. After the banquet, they told stories, sang songs, and celebrated long into the night. Then they locked their doors and took the monks into their home. They unlocked their doors and took the monks into their home and gave them very comfortable places to sleep. Into the gentle spring morning, everyone gathered near their windows to say farewell. Thank you for having us as your guests, said the monks. You've been most generous. Thank you, said the villagers. With the gifts you have given, we will always have plenty, and you have shown us that sharing makes us all richer. And to think, said the monks, to be happy is as simple as making stone soup. The end.
Every Sunday, we take an offering. Since 2002, all the cash and designated checks from that offering have gone directly to external nonprofit organizations doing good work, our Change for Change partners. March's Change for Change partner is Campaign for Southern Equality, an organization committed to advancing 2S LGBTQIA+ rights across the South. Through advocacy, legal support, and direct services, they work to promote equality, dignity, and safety for 2S LGBTQIA+ individuals and families. One of their notable initiatives is a grant program that helps individuals in states that have outlawed gender-affirming care. For example, Oklahoma has banned such care for minors, including me. It helps them travel across state lines to get the health care that they need. By contributing, we help strengthen their mission of building a more just and inclusive South for all. For those of you who are in the sanctuary today, with us today, in just a moment, we'll be passing the offering plate, and if you're watching us online, please make your gift by sending a check to First Unitarian, just write Change for Change on the memo line, or make an online payment through our website. Today is also Girl Scout Sunday. Our Girl Scout troop, 3115, meets right here at First Unitarian Church, is assisting with offerings this morning. Scouts will pass baskets, and Kit Rowland, a scout, will play our offering music. Thank you, troop, for your service. Offering will now be given and gratefully received. Hi, I'm Jack. My pronouns are he, him. I'm a kind of tan, short guy, and I have bright pink hair. I'm a part of the youth group here and have been since 2019, and I've been going to church here basically my entire life. Since about 2017, I've known that I was transgender of some variation. It's changed over the years. Now, as you know, things haven't been looking too cheery for us trans people in this state, especially minors. And to be honest, it's kind of disheartening. But in spite of all of this, there are plenty of people around us that love and support us. I say this because there are so many protests happening, speaking out about the injustice of removing trans people from history, and especially queer history. About a month ago, the letter T was removed from LGBT on the Stonewall page from the National Parks website, along with many mentions of trans people. Less than a week later, trans people and other allies were there at Stonewall protesting the changes. They were showing their support and their love for us. Back in early 2024, I was part of a school walkout for trans rights. We marched from our school building to the Capitol, and along the way we had parents and friends and supporters and allies making sure we were safe, giving us water and snacks. We held signs and we shouted from the top of our lungs, and we gave speeches, and there was free mom hugs and Freedom Oklahoma waiting for us at the Capitol. They gave us free t-shirts and made sure we were okay while allowing us to speak our minds and give our peace of mind. But even past the protests, there's been a little rest, I guess you could say, for trans people and to us LGBTQIA+ people, which is Camp Prism. Held at 10 Cedars, where we have Chalice Camp, is Camp Prism. It's for, to us LGBTQIA+ teens, and it's been a great support. Everyone there was extremely supportive and nice. All the counselors and adult volunteers are a part of the LGBTQIA+, just like me. And we were allowed our phones, and we were allowed to get up when we wanted, basically. And we had regular camp activities that might be less enjoyable in other environments. Though the camp was just a weekend long, it felt like an entire week had passed with all of the joy. We started off getting to know everyone in the cabin, establishing cabin rules, and making our group flag. Every cabin was assigned a different color, a flag to draw on and make their own, and we were tasked to name our group as well. In the middle of camp, we had a panel of the local queer organizations, made bracelets with Q Space, were given t-shirts by Freedom Oklahoma, and got advice from several other groups. The weekend was finished off with a great big celebration with our parents, and then we all headed home. Of course, we did lots of other things, but those in particular were highlights of the weekend for me. This year, Camp Prism will be held again, and this time it will be a week long, and I can't wait to be there again. Now, in spirit of summer camp, I'd like to share one of my favorite summer camp songs I've learned. Most of this song is a repeat after me song. A couple of lines aren't. I'll signal when you repeat. Got it? Got it. Okay. We are drops. We are drops. Of one ocean. Of one ocean. We are waves. We are waves. Of one sea. Of one sea. Come and join us. Come and join us. In our quest for unity. It's a way of life for you and me. One more verse, all right. We'll repeat it at the end, don't worry.
Please join me for a moment of quiet reflection and prayer. Settle into your seats comfortably and join me in taking 3 deep breaths together. Our prayer today is by H.P. Rivers. Meet me at the altar of banned books, a blanket fort sanctuary. We will dance to a chorus of children's laughter. Meet me in the joy, the sorrow, beneath the rainbow banner. Bring your questions, cares, concerns. Bring the glitter in your pocket and the sparkle in your smile. Bring your heavy heart, your favorite mug, your very best swear words. Set down your very bravest face. Meet me in the heartbeat between what has been and what will be. Meet me in the flicker of our eternal flame. We need not face this moment alone. Blessed be.
So my name is Charlie. My pronouns are he, him. And I'm a pretty tall white teenager. Yeah. So I'd like to start my reflection with an idea that my mom explained to me about a pyramid of where you should focus your time in your life. She explained it at the very top, with the smallest sliver of the pyramid is national politics, where you need to put the least of your time. At the national level, any individual's work will probably not affect that much. Usually it's only through large groups and organizations that people make a real difference in the national level. That's not to say any that work is unimportant, but it shouldn't be your main political focus. Just below that is the state level, where it's a bit easier to have a meaningful impact. And below that is the local level, where I think people should focus more of their time, because it's a lot more of a direct impact compared to national politics. This could mean being active in local politics or just supporting local small businesses or similar things. This level of the pyramid is a lot lower and bigger, and it has more areas where your efforts could actually be good for your community. But the local level isn't the base of the pyramid. At the very bottom is the most important foundation, focusing on yourself and those close to you. You really can't neglect this foundation, because it's what everything else is built on. If you're not taking care of yourself, your health, your mindset, and your relationships, then it's going to be a lot harder to make a meaningful impact anywhere else. I think a lot of people get caught up in national politics because it's generally the most dramatic and easiest to get caught up in. If that's where you're putting most of your energy, scrolling through social media, getting outraged at the latest headlines, arguing online, then you're missing out on where you can actually make a difference. If you're improving the lives of even a single person in your community, that counts as improving the community to me. It doesn't have to be something the world would usually think about. It can be something as simple as having a good conversation with someone or offering to do something fun with someone. Doing things like these forms bonds with other people, and forming bonds is key to building a strong community. My main philosophy in life, it's pretty simple, and I think it can apply to almost anything, is that you should work to improve the lives of others and yourself. That doesn't mean you have to be constantly being productive and doing hard work, though. Sometimes taking a break from work can be what you really need in order to eventually improve your life. On a larger scale, this would involve joining protests, doing community action, or donating to a cause you think would overall improve the world. On a smaller scale, though, it could simply mean just being kind to people, treating them with respect, and taking the time to understand and empathize with people. And I think understanding what people are going through is one of the most important aspects of a community. One of the things I'm afraid of as I get older is not having any friends or anyone to talk to and feeling really lonely. And as an older person, your children and grandchildren might be the highlight of your day when you're able to be with them. As a teenage boy, sometimes it feels like a chore to hang out with my grandparents, and I'd really rather be doing other things. Yeah. But I think these relationships with your family are some of the most important relationships you can have, though. I've also had that feeling where I don't have anyone to talk to, and I wish I had someone. And I imagine this feeling only grows bigger as you grow older. But even when spending time with family feels like a chore, these relationships are the very foundation of our community, especially when our society is divided as it is today. Sometimes just a conversation can remind you to make a big change. In the end, it all comes down to balance. I think national politics can be overwhelming, and it's easy to get lost in the drama. But when you're focused on the smaller, more personal aspects, closer to the bottom of the pyramid, that's where I feel like real change happens. The simple everyday things like spending time with your family, having a conversation, or offering support to a friend are what really create change in people's lives. So as we go through life, I think the best thing we can do is work to improve the lives of those around us, one small step at a time. Because in the end, that's what really makes a difference. Thank you. Yeah.
And now, please rise in body or in spirit and join us in singing, not that. Join us in singing hymn number 170, We Are a Gentle Angry People. We are doing all 6 verses today. We are a gentle, angry people, and we are singing for our lives. We are a gentle, angry people, and we are singing for our lives. We are justice-seeking people. We are singing for our lives. We are justice-seeking people, and we are singing for our lives. We are young and old together, and we are singing for our lives. We are young and old together, and we are singing for our lives. We are a land of many colors, and we are singing for our lives. We are a land of many colors, and we are singing for our lives. 2 more. We are gay and straight together, and we are singing for our lives. We are gay and straight together, and we are singing for our lives. We are a gentle, loving people, and we are singing for our lives. We are gentle, loving people, and we are singing for our lives. Thank you. You may be seated.
Hello, my name is Blake Bynum. I am a 17-year-old white teenager. I have dirty blonde hair pulled up in a ponytail. I'm wearing a purple t-shirt with a black jacket with white sleeves on over it, bedazzled in pins. And I'm here to talk to you today about why community building is important. Why is it important that we do things to build communities and help each other? First, I'll explain what community is to me. Community to me is communities such as theater and protests and friends. Theater, where I have people who care about me and want to help me in my career and want to help those around me. Where we all look at each other and we help each other. We get things better, we get things down better, we help each other, and we care about each other. Protests, where people get together because we all agree that something isn't right, because we believe that a law shouldn't be passed, or that we want something to happen, or a politician should be impeached. We get together and we express that. And protesters are some of the kindest people you will ever meet. They're always there to offer each other water or snacks or help make signs. Organizations like Free Mom Hugs will come out to give people hugs who maybe don't have people who love them enough to do so. Friends who will understand you and understand things that make you unique, certain needs that you have, things that you want to do or don't want to do. People who are there for you when you need them. These are all important in a world where there are people who might want to tear you down or to separate you, people who want to look at anything different and stomp it out as soon as they can because they're afraid of it. It's important to stay together and to remember that we are important, to remember that it is important to stay alive and to stay together, because the most resistant thing you can do in a system that wants to kill you is to stay alive and to stay well. Thank you.
Before we get started on our closing hymn, let's give a round of thank you to our youth for leading today's service. And our youth have selected our closing hymn, number 1074, the teal one, Turn the World Around. You may have heard this song before, but it's also not the easiest song in the world to sing. So we'll do our best together, okay? Please rise in body or in spirit and join us in singing 1074. We come from the fire, living in the fire. Go back to the fire, turn the world around. We come from the water, living in the water. Go back to the water, turn the world around. We come from the mountain, living on the mountain. Go back to the mountain, turn the world. Whoa, so is life. Ah, so is life. Whoa, so is life. Ah, so is life. Do you know who? Do you? I got lost. Who I am? Do I know who you are? So is life. Oh, so is life. So is life. Oh, so is life. So is life. Water the river. So is life. So is life. Living in the mountain. Fire make the sunlight turn the world around. Heart is of the river, body is the mountain, spirit is the sunlight, turn the world around. We are of the Spirit, truly of the Spirit, only can the Spirit turn the world around. Oh, so is life a batiwa. Ha, so is life. Whoa, so is life a batiwa. Ha, so is life. Whoa, so is life a batiwa. Ha, so is life. Whoa, so is life a batiwa. Ha, so is life.
We extinguish our chalice, but not the light of love and community which burns in our heart. Before we end, I just want to say that everyone is invited to join us in Daniel Hall after the service to play some multi-generational Go Fish. Yeah, we're that cool. And we conclude with our benediction, written by Maureen Kellowan. No matter how weak or frightened we may feel, we each have gifts that can make a difference in the world. In this coming week, may you do at least one thing to support the broken, to welcome the stranger, to celebrate what is worthy, to do the work of justice and love. Be strong, be connected, each day act so that you may be a little more whole. Thank you.